Hello everybody, this is Constipated here, and today I'd like to talk about the Pyro and Electro artifacts. There are two variations, and I'd like to address some questions about the difference between those two, which characters they are good on, and in which situations are they better. So with that, let's just dive in and take a quick look. The two groupings that we have here are going to be the Crimson Witch of Flames, as well as the Thundering Fury set, versus the Thunder Soothers and Lava Walkers set. So each set has kind of their own flavor, but we are going to go ahead and group them into two different groups. So if you're just in here for some quick answers, what I would say is if your character is doing 60-70% elemental damage or more, you cannot go wrong with a two-piece set that gives the elemental bonus damage, and then another two-piece set that does whatever, like a Noblesse Oblige that does 20% on the ultimate. You're good to go. Okay, so if you're ever confused or don't want to do any hard thinking about it, that's your way to go. Now, let's get into the differences between these two sets. So before moving on with this video, here's a crash course on how elemental reactions work. If one character is applying, elemental status on enemies at, say, a pace of some arbitrary number 2, and you have another character that's applying elemental reactions at, say, a rate of 1, then the slower character, so the one with the rate of 1, is going to be the one activating elemental reactions. So I'm going to show you what I mean with these couple of clips. So in this first clip here, you can see that Lisa is going to be activating her ultimate, and Xiangling is going to come in and throw down her Goba. You'll notice that Goba applies Pyro in slow increments, whereas Lisa's ultimate and Lisa herself apply Electro very fast. So Xiangling is going to be the one activating the Pyro reactions. Here in another clip, we have Diluc and Faisal. So Faisal throws out her Oz, and Oz applies Electro at quite a fast pace, so every time Diluc swings his sword, he's doing Pyro damage and activating that overload damage. Note that even though Diluc is doing all Pyro damage, like almost 100% of the time with his ultimate and his E, he swings so slow that he's going to be the one applying these elemental reactions. Okay, so let's get back to the artifacts here, and let's see why this is important. So going over the Crimson Witch of Flames 4-piece set, it increases all the elemental reaction damage by 40%, 15%, and using an elemental skill increases the 2-piece set effects by 50%. So just reading that off of the bat, whoever's using the Crimson Witch of Flames should probably have a spammable skill and also be the one activating elemental reactions. So this is why this is so good on Diluc. Not only does he activate the elemental reactions because he swings so slowly, he also gets to use his elemental skill 3 times. So yes, this does indeed stack, and it's just such a great set for him. It's basically built for him. Now, take someone like Klee, who is always applying elemental damage. So you can imagine Klee as kind of like Pyro Lisa. Lisa applies Electro damage constantly. You saw that Lisa was not able to activate any elemental reactions. Klee, on the other hand, is going to be pretty much the same thing. Although, if you're playing her with charged attacks, it could be the case that in your team composition, Klee is actually activating the reactions. So if Klee is activating the elemental reactions, then Crimson Witch of Flames is good on her. If Klee is not activating the elemental reactions, then Lava Walkers is going to be on her. So let's look at Lava Walker. So, the 2-piece set is whatever. A lot of people get turned off by the Pyro resistance, but the 4-piece set is actually very, very good. Increases damage against enemies affected by Pyro by 35%. So if you are not going to be activating these elemental reactions, then you're not going to benefit from the 4-piece from the Crimson Witch. Instead, you're going to benefit a lot more from the 4-piece from the Lava Walkers, and 35% is more than 15% from the other set. The Lava Walkers is the way to go if your character is going to be the one setting up the elemental reactions. Now the same thing pretty much goes for the Thunder Furies versus the Thunder Soothers. Let's read the 4-piece set for the Thundering Fury. Increases, again, all these elemental reactions by 40%. Triggering the effects decreases elemental skill cooldown. The elemental skill, this time there's really no requirement for it to be spammable because it will just decrease the cooldown, and that's good for all elemental skills. But this works similarly to Crimson Witch because it's focused on these elemental reactions. It's focused on setting up the elemental reactions. If you want a character to run Thundering Fury, they need to be applying Electro quite slowly. This could be good on Beto, who applies her E every so often. Although her ultimate does apply Electro quite fast, there could be an argument to be made to be running Thunder Soothers on her, especially if you're running her as a support and only using her ultimate. So in that case, I would go with the Thunder Soothers. Now, there could also be an argument made for using Thundering Fury on Faisal. Even though in the Diluc Faisal scenario, Oz was applying Electro much faster than Diluc could apply Pyro, if you find some other character, like Jinquei, who's going to be hitting those rain slashes quite fast over Oz, then Oz might be the one activating the elemental reactions. In that case, a 4-piece set would make a lot of sense on Faisal. Okay, so it's going to depend on your team composition. So this is what makes the question complicated. Is Thundering Fury better than Thunder Soothers? Because it really depends on your team composition and who's doing what. So again, Thunder Soothers acts the exact same way as Lava Walkers, except just for Electro damage. So for someone like Keqing, even though she's not always applying Electro damage, she applies Electro quite fast with her elemental skill and whatnot. So this 4-piece Thunder Soothers is actually going to be much better than any other combination with the Thundering Fury, whether Thundering Fury is put in a 4-set or a 2-set. Thunder Soothers is going to increase her damage DPS overall. So Thunder Soothers is going to be just great on Keqing. It's going to be great on someone like Lisa. As I said, mages are going to rock these type of sets. So hopefully they come out with some sort of Pyro or Hydro set version of this. I can see if there was a Hydro set, it would be, again, great on Mona. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about these two sets to clear things up. The real answer is that it depends. And if you don't want to think about this or you're unsure of the timing, you will have a great character just going with Thunder Fury or Crimson Witch 2-piece. That's the safe route, 15% elemental damage. That's great. If you take into consideration and you analyze your team composition to see who is activating the elemental reactions, then you can make a better decision whether to put a full Thunder Soothers or Lava Walkers versus a full Crimson Witch or Thunder Fury. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to see more content from me, please like and subscribe. And I would just like to thank everyone for all the support on my last video last week. I got 1,000 views in the first 3 days, and that absolutely blew my mind. If you'd like to see a lot more math-heavy things, or if you want me to keep it simple like in this video, please let me know in the comments below, or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to address all of that. With that, thank you for all your support, and I'll see you in my next video.